So I recently had the chance to revisit Scooby Doo Meets the Boo Brothers after like a solid 15 years. I was curious to see if it still held up, but sadly for me, it didn't quite hit the mark. But wait, don't click off the video just yet. I would like to share my thoughts and see if you agree or not. I think reviews are best when we can have a discussion in the comments. It's interesting to hear differing thoughts on a piece of art. But before we dive into the critique of the movie, let me quickly catch you up on the plot or give you a brief rundown if you're new to this movie. I will try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. In the beginning, our adventure kicks off with Shaggy receiving news that he has inherited a mansion from his late uncle. Eager to explore his newfound fortune, Shaggy sets off on a journey with Scooby and Scrappy Doo joining him. However, their excitement quickly turns to fear as they discover that the mansion is haunted. The trio decide to hire a team of ghost exterminators. But here comes the twist. The hired help turns out to be ghosts themselves. The remainder of the film follows Shaggy and the Doos as they embark on a quest to uncover a hidden fortune within the mansion. Meanwhile, the Boo Brothers have their own subplot, causing mischief and hijinks along the way. It's a pretty standard Scooby-Doo plot, but with a slight variation because of the Boo Brothers being present. But for me, the inclusion of the Boo Brothers is actually what detracts from the enjoyment of this film. Their slapstick humor just fails to resonate with me. I can't recall if it made me laugh as a child, but it certainly falls flat for me now. However, I do appreciate the main plot line of the gang trying to uncover the hidden treasure and searching for clues to find it. That plot line actually kept me engaged and motivated me to finish the entire film. If there was more focus on the Boo Brothers, I probably would have stopped watching the film because I just did not enjoy that plotline very much. I actually think Scrappy Doo was less annoying, if that says anything.
Everyone hated Scrappy Doo.
The film also includes stereotypical hillbilly characters. One of them actually develops a disturbing crush on Shaggy and repeatedly attempts to assault him. While it may not have been the intended implication at the time of this movie's release, it certainly comes across as problematic in modern times. Additionally, she has a brother who continuously and recklessly fires his gun at people. This could be seen as dangerous and alarming behavior, but the sheriff has a lack of concern in arresting him, and that adds a somewhat ironic and comedic element to the situation. I actually thought that part was pretty funny. Okay, let's shift some of our focus towards the positives of the movie. One aspect that I really enjoyed from this movie was the soundtrack. It was an interesting blend of traditional orchestra instruments with some 80s inspired synths and some of those tom drums from like the 80s, the gated reverb sound. I actually really enjoyed that part of the soundtrack. The tunes slapped, as the kids say these days. Do kids actually say that? Additionally, the animation was pretty impressive since this movie was actually made for TV. It wasn't a theatrical release. I couldn't help but feel nostalgic for the hand-drawn animation of that time. I really miss the charm of hand-drawn animation, and it's kind of something that is lacking in today's world of animation. There was a charm to it that I really enjoyed. Actually, if you know of any hand-drawn shows in recent times, please let me know in the comments because I'd be interested to watch those since a lot of things these days are digital art. Not that digital art is bad, but sometimes I just kind of want to see that hand-drawn animation style. Overall, I really wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone unless you have like an obsession for Scooby Doo or you actually do like the slapstick style humor. That humor doesn't resonate with me, but it could resonate with you. It's always worth having your own opinion on these things. Just because I say don't watch it doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it, you know? This is just how I felt about the movie. I'm really hoping that Scooby Doo and the Ghoul School stands up because I actually liked that movie more when I was a kid. I hope I'm not blinded by nostalgia, which nostalgia seems to do that to people, but I guess we'll see. I do plan on reviewing that as soon as I watch that movie as well. But if you can't wait for me to release more Scooby Doo content, please check out my recent review of Scooby Doo Night of 100 Frights. I recently replayed that game all the way through and made a pretty in-depth review about it, so make sure you check that out after this. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you real soon. Peace!